It miraculously survived the Blitz during World War II, played host to Winston Churchill's funeral in 1965. It was where Lady Diana Spencer and Prince Charles married in 1981, and was the London site for the worldwide Occupy protests in 2011. Now, it will hold a service for the funeral of Britain's first woman Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. Since 1708, St. Paul's Cathedral has been a national institution that has played host to momentous church, state, and royal events.
People are often confused as to what St. Paul's is. St. Paul's is the Cathedral of London. Westminster Abbey is a private church of the Queen, and thus many royal events happen at Westminster Abbey. But St. Paul's Cathedral is the cathedral for London. It's where the civic events, the events that are attended by the public and by large gatherings, have to happen.
And we've had all sorts of things from ballet to music to silence to having 5,000 people sitting on the floor holding candles. It's a very flexible space, and we're glad to use it in flexible ways.
As the largest church in London, St. Paul's has played an important role during wartime.
It's here that Thanksgiving celebrations at the end of wars have been traditionally held. That's the First and Second World Wars, and of course, most significantly for this particular occasion, the Falklands War.
More recently, the cathedral is remembered for hosting the wedding of Lady Diana Spencer and Prince Charles.
Royal weddings had traditionally been held in Westminster Abbey, not here in St. Paul's, and that event in St. Paul's was thus a unique occasion, an attempt for royalty to come out to the public.
The cathedral can hold up to 2,500 people, and over time, the church has hosted more than its daily religious services.
St. Paul's Cathedral wasn't initially used for funerals, but by the end of the 18th century, it had become the place for great state events. The most famous event perhaps was Nelson's funeral, where a special contraption was rigged up so that Nelson's coffin could be lowered down through the floor of the dome into the crypt, where it still lies.
Preparations have been heavily underway since last week, and on Wednesday, St. Paul's will be the host of Margaret Thatcher's funeral, where she herself had personal connections.
Well, she came here when she was Prime Minister to services, most notoriously the Falkland Islands Victory Service, where there was some controversy with the Dean at the time. She actually is coming here for her funeral because the question was raised, where will the funeral be? And the Dean of St. Paul's at the time said, well, this will be a place if you'd like to come here. So that's why she's coming to what's the largest church in London, and one that's been throughout all of its life associated with the work of the British state in one way or another.
Though some may question the appropriateness of Mrs. Thatcher's funeral at St. Paul's, it will be added to the list of high-profile events that have been held at the cathedral and further underline its importance in British history. For the Wall Street Journal, this is Dipti Kapadia in London.